You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks! Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
That's right. That's Wayne.
Taking a break.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Wayne.
Getting these drinks off the table. It is how we game. This is kind of how it is. We made it, Wayne.
Yeah.
Very, very close.
Running in at the last second.
Yes, I was just at a graduation up the road at the local university, University of South Florida, which is kind of in the middle of the state. Still not sure how that's South Florida, but apparently we are. But Robert's there with his family. His son just graduated, so I got to shake hands with his oldest boy.
Nice.
Congratulate him on his graduation, so that felt really good. And then ran over here as fast as I could to meet Wayne up so that we can start the show together.
Yeah, timed it about right. I pulled up about a minute before you pulled up.
Yeah, it worked out great. I'm opening the phone line. 813-618-7099 is the number, and we are the Beans and Dice podcast. Hopefully in the chats we can get a heads up on the audio. Sounds like Mr. Jeeves from Chi-Town. Rob looks really different without his mustache.
There you go. I couldn't grow a mustache if my life depended on it.
Baby face.
Yeah, it's Irish.
All right, so let's get talking about games and such. Wayne, let's get the primer going. Any thoughts on what you have gaming wise going on, purchases or?
So yeah, doing more Gloomhaven with the wife, which we're enjoying, and then slowly teaching my son slightly more and more complex games, a little Taikaido and Takenoko, which is kind of fun. And just doing a lot of BGA. Been busy at work and traveling for a conference. So it was really nice to be able to go to a work conference and sit in the middle of a session with my laptop and play BGA half the time, which is fun. Hey, I'm paying attention to the conference, but not really because it was a topic that I kind of know about already. So we spent a lot of time.
No. If anybody at work is listening, he was paying attention very well.
Yes, I was.
He
Yeah.
taking copious notes.
No copious notes.
Digital copious notes.
But that's good. Then got a vacation coming up, so I've been last day or two trying to figure out how many games I can bring in my luggage. That's going. We're flying up to Connecticut, so I got to bring a few games that we can play with little kids because my son and my niece are gonna be with me, and then we have later on at night when the kids are asleep, have a couple more complex games. So I'm trying to figure out.
Hey, why don't you grab one of those fancy cork coasters over there?
The Azul.
Yeah, the Azul coaster. Nice one.
I like that one. That's really nice. That might be a game that's coming with me.
Thank you, Mitch, for the heads up on the audio. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hello there, BJ.
Yeah. So just planning out games to bring on a vacation where you have a one check luggage and a carry on. So Tiny Epic and maybe Azul and Zombie Dice. Cartographers, I think I'm bringing, and Welcome To.
I think Can't Stop might be able to fit in there, right?
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, Can't Stop's coming. Yeah. So.
Oh, we got Rich, a.k.a. Getty.
Yeah.
Saying hi's on the chat. All right. I have a stack of games here that I wanted to go through once I pour this beverage.
Yeah.
I got a lot of shipments this week.
You've been keeping up with buying where I've stopped. I was thinking about that earlier today. I think I've only purchased 2 games all year. So
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm really trying to think. I got a couple games at Christmas. We won't count that. But since January 1, it's Dune and Chocolate Factory. I think are the only 2 games I've purchased.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Mitchell in New Iberia, Louisiana. What's up?
My man.
Hey, Mitchell. How's it going?
It's going well. Good to see you guys. Rob's not here, so what are we gonna do, huh? Have a party?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk war games. Let's do that. And role play games.
Well, I wanted to chat about. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in. I wanted to chat about my Play of Viticulture World over on BJ's stream the other night, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
please. Yeah, give the folks a rundown if they didn't watch. Your final thoughts after a couple nights of being able to think about it. What'd you think of the new viticulture?
So, okay, I think across the board, most of us, whenever we heard cooperative viticulture, were like, what? Is that really necessary? And I didn't order it, even though I'm a big Stonemeyer fanboy. BJ asked me to come on the stream to play it, and I was like, sure. Of course, I wanted to. I'll play in the game one time, right? And I'll check it out, but I wasn't really expecting to enjoy it. And then as he started to explain some of the mechanics to me, I was like, whoa, this might be kind of cool. So even outside of the co-op aspect of it, there are some really cool new mechanics. One of the things I think I like the most, and then I think will help more with AP and actually make base viticulture without Tuscany make a little bit more sense. So hope you're perking up there, Carlos. And so you have workers with these little hats on. So if they have hats on, they're untrained, and you don't gain workers throughout the game. You have 5 total: a grande worker and 4 little workers. And your 4 little workers, 2 of them have a red hat, 2 of them have a yellow hat. So the yellow hat ones can only be placed in summer in the first season. The blue hat ones can only be placed in winter, and the grande can go wherever you want. So instead of buying new workers, what you can do is you can train a worker. He gets his hat off, and now he can go in any season. So the thing is, my wife just heard that. She sounds intrigued. She likes viticulture. So at least in early game, although it is limiting, and that's frustrating, but it also helps you make some more decisions. So rather than having to think about, man, how do I budget these workers across all these seasons? It's like, hey, I got to put these 2 right here. So I know that, and I can make some faster decisions. Another cool thing is, so there are no bonus spaces on the board. And no matter, even if you have 6 players, there's only 2 spaces to go with a worker on each action. However, what you can, I think it's called like innovation. You can pay $4 to upgrade the action space, which not only does it give it a bonus, but it also makes it so as many meeples as you want can go there. The only problem is you only get the bonus with a trained worker or a grande worker. But with that action, you can also upgrade the action itself. So instead of it being like draw 1 card, it might be draw 3 cards and keep 2, or age grapes and make a wine or something like that. So those mechanics were really, really cool. I definitely would like to start using those hats in the base viticulture and see how it would work. Obviously, upgrading those spots might be a little difficult if we're not doing co-op, because then you're upgrading it for everybody, so I don't know if you'd be incentivized to do that. But in terms of the co-op aspect, whenever they were telling me how long they thought the game might last, I was like, it doesn't take that long for me to play viticulture. But the thing is, every decision you make, you almost have to be discussing with each other. And it is tough. We did not win. With one more round, we might have won. Now, a couple things. This was not the first quote-unquote scenario. It's supposed to be kind of easier. And 2, DJ had the Visit from the Ride Valley cards, which get rid of all those freebie victory points.
Oh, he
so
seems like he
DJ
just took it to the next level.
Yeah. So
he said we're playing on hard mode.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's
so.
cool.
Oh, and there's Duga in the chat saying it's difficult.
I think what's pretty cool is, so you have like 3 or 4 levels now, because you have these basic workers and you can upgrade them, or you can upgrade the spots so that anyone can go there. But if the basic workers go there that haven't been upgraded, they don't get a benefit. They just get to go there. So it does add a lot of decision there in the game. So I really like that idea. That there's multiple areas to do it. I need 2 more different color hats though, so we can use it in the proper Tuscany board.
Right, of course. And the hats did start falling off, like you guys. I think Carlos was mentioning they were breakdancing during the stream. They were upside down, but it really felt like a completely different game. It was a breath of fresh air. Another thing that I really liked. So the wake up order, it's a circle now, and so you get what's on the outside. That's kind of the same. Whatever you pass, you go into the middle, and you have 3 different options for what you can get. I think it's like maybe a grape or some money or a card of your choice, and everybody can choose from that. In terms of the co-op, so it's kind of almost like a narrative game, because you're flipping these cards and there are these personalities that you can gain. And weirdly enough, at least in the one we were playing, which is South America, it incentivized you to be in last place if you're getting this personality card, because if you were in last place, you would get something extra. And it would give you some kind of benefit. You have to pay something. And sometimes that would be getting influence, because the thing is, not only do you all have to get to 25 points, which is the win condition, but you also have to get the influence all the way up to 10. And that costs $8 to do. There's an action. Spend $8 to gain 1 influence. And so you are always having to decide, am I taking someone for the team and spending all this money to put the influence up, or to maybe upgrade a spot by paying $4, or am I using this to do the things I need to do, like build buildings or train my workers and stuff? There were a lot of tough decision points, and really everything we had to discuss before we did anything. So it was a very different experience, and I did enjoy it, and I would definitely want to play it again. So it definitely was above what my expectations were.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cool that it hit home and that you're liking it. And I think the 6 scenarios and it has some pretty good replayability. And like I said, you made it kind of hard on yourselves, but you didn't win. But it was an enjoyable experience. And I think you always say, Carlos, it's a cooperative game, but is there an alpha gamer?
Right. That's always my biggest worry with co-ops.
Yeah, and I think
No, there was no alpha gaming. There was way too. So here's the thing: you still have your own board, you still have your own cards. Although we had our cards face up in front of us, but like there's no way anyone can know the information in front of you more than you, and also know theirs. So it was more like, hey, can anybody do this? And we'll talk about like, yeah, I could do this if we do this, and like if you put your grande work where I am, you could trade things with me. So like it was all kind of strategic planning,
kind of like a pandemic where you're swapping cards.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was. I recommend it. I know Jeremy got a copy of this in, and wants. Well, I don't know if he's in yet. It's supposed to be in soon, so I'm sure he's going to want to play. So I'm definitely going to play this again. I want to see what some of the other scenarios are like, because in South America, again, I don't know if this is the same in all of them. We're getting different personalities, but you can only have one at a time. And so because there are 6 rounds, we were playing with 4 people. It's like once I got a personality, I felt like if I get another one, I'm wasting what I spent on the first personality. But that one's really cool. It's probably better than this one. But because it was my first play, I didn't know that there were some that were going to be better. So a lot of it's situational, I'm sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my copy. I might be the last person in the Beans and Dice group to get it.
It's got to be the Rolling Realms promo packs that were in the order.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm going on vacation next week, so it's not a huge deal.
If it didn't come in today, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Well, I was really hoping. I really wanted to be able to have Carlos open it live on air tonight, but
it kind of stinks because just up the road in Pasco County, we've got some of our gamer friends posting in our local group that they got it. It's in.
But you'll have it by next Thursday, so you can open it live, and I'll call
Kyle from Chicago. He's posting his pictures like, look, it came in. And I finally get it while I'm at the graduation. I get an email saying like, oh, your label has printed. Like, oh, thanks.
There you go. You'll have it by next Thursday, so you can do a live opening next Thursday.
Must have been all that smack you talked about Jamie's games last time.
It is. I didn't talk a lot of smack. Initially, I was upset about this.
We shouldn't have done that designer breakdown on Jamie's games.
It's all Mitchell's.
Well, hopefully you guys, or at least some of you guys, can play it before next week, and we can do a whole podcast on it. There's a lot to discuss, I think. I want to hear what you guys think about these new mechanics once y'all play as well.
Do guys telling me there's a bunch of spoilerific pictures here on the BGG. All right, good point. Let me take those off. They are off the screen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dugas. Dugas.
It's not a legacy
Dugas. There you go. You got it right.
I'm getting it. I'm working on it. Boudin balls. Buddha balls, right?
Boudin.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, before you go, Mitch, that was the first time in my life that I ever watched a full Twitch playthrough of anything. Like, ever watched anyone play anything on Twitch. Unlike Rob, I'm not a fan of, like, watching people play games. This is my thing. But I got to say, there was a completely different experience watching y'all play because of the interaction in the channel. It felt like I was hanging out with y'all versus just watching you play a game. So I want to thank you and Board Game Gumbo, BJ, for throwing that up there for us. So I appreciate you, man.
I think that's a sign of a good...
it was fun.
Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
Go ahead, Wayne.
No,
I was just going to say, y'all were there for a long time. Thanks for sticking it out.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, the sign of a good Twitch channel is that interaction. Like, I've watched a bunch of Twitch gaming, either RPGs or board games. And the ones that just play and don't interact with chat and don't interact with people or don't answer questions, they get boring real quick. But when there's an interaction, when your chats are getting popped up or when your questions or jokes are resonating, that makes a good channel because it makes a community, kind of like what we're trying to do here, what you're trying to do here with the phone calls. So, no, it was a good stream. I don't know. I couldn't believe that I hadn't already followed it. So it'll pop up now if you guys do more stuff. So
appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Yeah, BJ streams every week. I'm not there every week, but BJ is, so check him out. But yeah, y'all have a good show, guys. Later.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
That was Mitchell from New Iberia, Louisiana. We're talking about Board Game Gumbo, who's also in the chat. BJ from Board Game Gumbo has his Twitch, and he does live plays, so I got to watch my first real live play.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I watched it, like, again, I was sharing, Rob is mostly the playthrough type person. Like, that's where his heart is. He wants to use this channel to help do more playthroughs and such. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name, where you calling from.
Tom, Florida.
Hello, Tom from Florida. Welcome to Beans and Dice. What do you got going on gaming?
Well, I'm telling you guys, you should throw that Descent game away behind you because Massive Darkness 2 is where it's at.
Massive Darkness. That's Cool Mini or Not, right?
Yeah, I never played the first one. I watched it played, and it was kind of boring and a little. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. We have enough okay dungeon crawls out there, but this one was pretty spectacular. It plays. It's. You can buy a campaign expansion, but you don't need to. It's just a single shot. You can level up to level 5 in one 2-hour sitting.
I'm gonna pull this thing up. Sounds like you're a dungeon crawling fan, which that's of my ilk. Would I be wrong in saying that?
No, I'm a bit of an omni gamer. I play pretty much every game that comes out in the course of a year, but I do like dungeon crawls a lot.
So what makes this Massive Darkness 2 better than, better? You talked about how it was better than the first one, but why is it better than Descent, or why is this the one to go to? What was unique about it?
Well, I like it has plug and play nature, so you can just pick and choose any monster and throw it in, and it's not a problem. They all can show up and do different things. But the best part about it is each of the classes, and there's 6 in the base box, and you can get 4 more. Each class has kind of their own little mini game that you're playing along with the game. So let's say you're the rogue. The rogue comes with a little bag of tokens, and they pull tokens from the bag that can give them bonuses to their actions. And as they level up, they get to throw different tokens in that bag. The ranger has a deck of archer cards, arrow cards. I mean,
let me jump in. Let me make sure I understand that. Tom, are you saying that the character himself, the class of character, has one has a bag building element, the other one has a deck building element?
Well, it's not that pronounced. Maybe I don't want to say deck building. I'm just saying it's a push your luck element.
Okay,
for the
but
ranger.
that class doesn't have the bag building that the rogue has.
Oh no, the classes are really different.
I'm liking that. Keep talking. Tell me more.
When the berserker takes damage, instead of losing, he loses hit points, but he puts them on a little counter called rage, and then he spends that rage to do various things. There is the necromancer. He's one of the expansion ones, but he can raise the enemies back to life and use them to go out and fight. The bard puts little musical notes together in combos and shoots the enemies with that. The mage has a wheel that you spin around and do different spells. I like this because it makes each class feel very distinct, but most importantly, it's fun and not overly complicated.
And so this is a CMON game, right?
Yeah, Cool Mini or Not.
Yeah. So it must have, obviously had a Kickstarter probably a year ago or so and it's just getting delivered now. So did you go in on the Kickstarter all in? Did you buy the base stuff and then add stuff later? What was that like as far as
I normally don't go all in anymore with CMON because I don't trust myself to be able to play all the content that comes out. So I just got the base game and all the stretch goals, which was 20.
Yeah.
And it's a ton. I spent a good 5 hours over the last couple of days, and I managed to pare it down to 2 boxes so it fits in the library properly. Yeah, I don't know that I want more per se because I don't mind playing a campaign. Campaigns are fun, but sometimes you just want to play a one-shot dungeon. Not everything has to be spread out over months.
Right.
I'm so glad Rob's not here right now because he would be disagreeing with us, and I am in 100% agreement with Tom. That's the one detriment. I am a big dungeon crawl fan, and the thing that has got me out of dungeon crawls in the modern day is that campaign requirement.
Yeah, you see the box from everyone's posting from Origins, the box from Frosthaven, and it's bigger than Gloomhaven, and just with CMON stuff, where I tend to shy from it is it's hard for me to just buy the base game. Right, you see all these, all the add-ons and the expansions, and you want to buy it all once because later on, getting that stuff. If you decide you want it later on, it'll be harder.
You'll never find it.
Never find it. It'd be more expensive. So, I need
But
to.
then you feel guilty because it's a campaign game. You
And
never
you're not
got it to the
getting that
table. Then you look at it as a very expensive
expensive, yeah.
paperweight. I mean, just like Tom was talking.
Yeah, it's good, and I think what you're saying is good. Is you feel that there's enough in the base game with the stretch goals for replayability, something you can take out, play. You don't have to do the campaign. And my guess, like there'll be some online people post online campaigns that you can play, or there are homebrew campaigns.
I'm gonna have to find someone that has this game, Tom. I'm glad you brought it to the show. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it in our game group or otherwise. This is the first time I've had a conversation with someone about Massive Darkness.
So how many plays have you gotten in so far, Tom?
I played it 4 times currently. No, 5. Sorry,
Okay.
5. I'm really enjoying it. My kids like it. I played it with the guys at work, and they really enjoy it also.
Nice. So about how long is each game?
It ranges from an hour to 2.
Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't stay. This doesn't seem like it stays longer than it needs to at an hour or 2, especially for a dungeon crawler. That's pretty cool though.
Right.
And you said you had the original version and then got this, or you had played the original version and this?
No,
is
I don't have the original
Okay.
version. I thought about it, and I actually do have the. It comes with an upgrade pack, which lets you. It gives cards and stats for all the monsters and heroes from the first one. And I don't know. I debate it. I'm like, shit. Well, buy the first one now. So I have all these extra heroes and miniatures. But
That's where they
there
get
comes a point where that just becomes ridiculous.
But
Chasing the purple dragon.
yeah, well, you can see that picture that Carlos just put up. That's like, I guess, everything for maybe for both games, or I would hope it's for both games, because that's Massive Darkness. That's crazy.
Yeah. So no, that's also showing zombie side there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
But-
it's a little bit of
but-
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's also a zombie side conversion kit. You can, I guess that's what it is. You can
Yeah,
use
I
that
saw
stuff.
that there was an expansion in about like meshing in Zombie Side into Massive Darkness.
That's crazy.
I once lost several, like a whole box of Arcadia Quest, and so I started getting it back, but I lost some of the promo figures I had, and I mentioned this to Simon when I was talking to them, and they're like, "Listen, we'll give you anything you want," and I was like, "Oh, great, I can get anything I want," and I sorted out my Arcadia Quest stuff, and I realized I had 70 heroes. And I thought, why would I need more? You only use 3 in a game. So, not everything needs to have the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
In fact, I think most things don't.
All right, so I just jumped into the chat, and everyone is saying it sounds like The Vassal. I know we're on the phone and it distorts voice, but this would not be The Vassal. Would it be The Vassal?
I don't think anyone calls me that. I just, that's the first
Well,
name.
holy moly.
There you go.
Wow.
The phone number was Miami. There you go.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together at all till now.
I didn't either.
It-
That's cool.
The chat really blew it up for me, Tom. Wow, welcome to the show, Tom. I know we've
Well,
met
you
in
did tell me
person.
in September to call.
We did.
So I taking my dear sweet time. That's all.
Dice Tower Retreat, we did. I'm like, my eyes are big and giddy right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I just thought I was
Wait,
having a
that's so
conversation
straight, yeah.
with some guy from Florida named Tom.
Well, I am some guy from Florida named Tom.
There you go.
No, listen, it's not that big of a deal. I was just working here on my computer, and I saw your show come on.
Oh man, suddenly it got weird.
No, that's cool though. Right. I mean, you sold us on Massive Darkness. I mean, I've never, I try to ignore Simon just because I have that FOMO of if I'm going to buy something, I want to buy it all. So I don't want to get involved in a Simon game because there's just too much of it. But it's good to know that you think that you really could just buy the base box and play it.
I think you could buy the base box. Now, you would sit there. Now, once you found out about the other 4 classes, then you'd be like, oh, I want those classes. I want that class. I want to do that class. Also, another thing I like about this game is it throws loot at you like Diablo.
Well, that's good.
Like every other turn, I'm just getting piles and piles of weapons. After a while, you're like, oh, that weapon's not good. But, I mean, just having tons of items makes you feel good.
But would you throw this over like Descent 2nd Edition? I know I actually, Tom, that copy is from the September giveaway at Dice Tower Retreat, Descent, the 3rd edition. Well,
That's right. You guys got that. I forgot about that.
yeah, I got super lucky on that one. But I haven't cracked it open yet because I still have my Descent 2nd Edition stuff. But would you still say Massive Darkness 2 over 2nd Edition? Because I knew how much of a fan you were.
Well, I'll say current Tom. would put it over Descent Second Edition. And the reason why is I love Descent Second Edition, but it's long. I mean, we're talking 100 hours or so. Maybe it's 50 hours, but it's really long, right, to go through. And I like it, but, that's just a lot of effort and work. And I found that I like extreme leveling. I like every time I play getting a little bit better. So that's what this one lets me do. Over the course of 2 hours, I went from level 1 to level 5, and you feel pretty awesome at level 5.
So I like that. 'Cause my wife and I have been playing Jaws of the Lion, and she's a board gamer, but she's more of an RPGer. She's a DGM thing, and she's complaining. We're like 6 or 7 scenarios in, and she's like, I don't have any loot. Got a little gold. I've leveled up once or twice. She's like, it doesn't seem like we're any tougher now than
Heroic. You don't feel heroic.
She's like, where's the D&D campaign in this? And I'm like, I guess we'll get there. We'll see. We're still,
As much as I love Gloomhaven, and I really do love the game, I think it's fantastic. I think that's its weakness. One of the weaknesses, that and also the fact that when the campaign's over, suddenly you're out of the dungeon and you can't grab all the gold. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, we house ruled that. Like, after the first game, she's like, no, that makes no sense. The game's over. We're taking all the gold in that chest or whatever we didn't get. Like, you loot the room. That's what you do. I
kind of got kicked out of my first Gloomhaven group because I killed the boss before we had a chance to pick everything up.
First game, she said, nope, that's not D&D. We loot the room after we're done. I'm like, I'm fine with that. Like you said today, Tom, I listened to the podcast with you and Jason. We were talking about when it's okay to cheat. And my wife immediately said, we're co-op. We're going to agree to loot the room. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad I have several campaign ones, but I wanted a quick and dirty one. So, until now, there hasn't really been many of those. We got Hero Quest, which is really light.
Oh, I played it once because I got my crowdfunding pledge thing in from, I think, Pulse. And I played it once, and Robin and I were like, this is just too light.
Right.
Did you get Tiny Epic Dungeons in and played yet?
It came in, and I believe the other guys played it. I don't know that I have not played it, I think.
All right, I'm going to look forward to when you do. I played it 3 times now, possibly 4, but have not come near winning yet. It's just too difficult. Because I was hoping that would be what you just described, that one night, one shot, heroic fun game.
I'm going to keep pounding this drum forever. I do not know why publishers think we want to lose all the time. I don't get it. I would rather win, and then you say, how can I make it harder? Go to level 2. Why would you want to lose the first time out? That just seems dumb to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think, if you polled everyone, I think people would want to win slightly more often than they lose.
I think Tom did. I remember answering the poll on the group one time.
I think so, yeah.
I think like 50% is what I want.
I'm more like...
Well, I asked that poll, and I feel like taking that poll and going to Gen Con and stapling it to the head of some of the publishers.
He's got it like that. He could do that and walk away and be okay.
Well, yeah. Hey, Gen Con, are you guys coming back to the retreat?
Not the retreat. It's in Miami. It's too close to East for our budget to handle. So Robert and I are booked for a villa at East. We'll be there.
Well, that's even sooner.
Yes, I'm super excited. Robert, myself, actually, Mitchell's flying in from Louisiana because we brought him to the retreat last year with us.
Ron from Atlanta.
Ron Frazier's coming with us. He's going to be joining the Beans and Dice crew.
Oh, I like Ron.
Oh, so we're super excited to get us all together. It's like the Beans and Dice thing is starting to spread out. Got a lot of friends in different states, and we're all just going to meet up and play games.
Well, Massive Darkness will be there. I sorted it all out. Not paying it, unfortunately, but it will be there at Dice Diaries.
Well, at a 2-hour gameplay, I'm gonna. I think Robert is not a huge Dungeon Crawl fan. He likes them, but he doesn't like the luck.
There's other people who can play.
But no. What I'm saying is the way you describe the different mechanisms as the asymmetric way of sharing the classes. Like each class is not only asymmetric in what they do, but in how they do it. That's really gonna intrigue Robert. I'm sure he's gonna love that part. He loves learning new mechanisms, and having multiple mechanisms on the board that we each don't share. It's just going to be much more of a cooperative puzzle because I can't tell you how to do your guy because your character may have a completely different mechanism than mine.
Yeah. Either that or just point into a game of Arc Nova, and then you can go play three times Massive Darkness while he's playing. Not.
All right, guys, I got a jet here.
Thank you.
We're actually doing a Q&A tomorrow about Dice Diaries, so
we'll be watching
on the channel. So Keep up the good work, and I'll see you in less than a month.
Less than a month. We'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you for calling in, Tom.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I couldn't tell the voice on the phone versus on
the
on
phone
YouTube.
really changes a lot of what comes through on that. It wasn't until I came over to the chat to see what was going on, and I'm seeing all the Vasel comments, and I'm like, what are they talking about? What?
Well, he said Tom, and then he said I saw the caller ID, it said Miami, and then he said Tom in Florida. I'm like, what? Okay, he could have said Miami, but I didn't even.
And no,
yeah.
it just. I guess I would have never thought that would have happened.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mitchell was the first one to comment. Vasel, I haven't seen it because I was over in the other banners section just trying to top in Tom in Florida. I never came back to the comments. And there's BJ.
Yeah.
He caught it immediately. Yeah,
That's cool.
Getty, he figured it out. Man, I am so behind. I was just trying to listen to see where Tom was going with the Massive Darkness, and especially when you get a new caller, folks, you're not sure. Wayne, you've been here for some of the prank call stuff.
Yeah,
you're not
every
sure
now and then you
who's
get a prank
real,
call, yeah.
and so you're really kind of like on edge, waiting to shut the phone down in case they start yelling some stuff. I think we had one of those when the Board Game Nexus folks were on. And Mitchell's right. I did not recognize the voice. This is hilarious.
No, it's very cool. It's really nice, of him to call in and and talk about a game that a new game for everybody. He gave you a game to play, right? Something to do at Dice Tower East.
It was the whole throw out descent. I'm like, where is this going?
Where's this going? Yeah.
Like, where is this going? Rich,
cool.
Rich Getty.
Someone read the chat.
New call coming in. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name and where are you calling from?
Speak of the devil and the devil appears.
Hey, it's
This
the
is
nice
Ron
guy.
from Atlanta.
Your ears were burning, my friend.
Apparently, you have a fan in Tom Vasel. He likes you. Thinks you're a nice guy.
Yep. Yeah, my daughter calls him Mr. Hat Man.
That's cool.
Oh, we should ask him about the viticulture hats. What are his thoughts?
That's true. So what's going on,
Hey,
Ron? What you been playing lately?
Well, a lot of PGA. I'm sure not as much as Wayne.
I don't think anybody
But,
in the group plays as much as I do.
Yeah, but so some PGA games. But I was calling to talk to you guys about something I have been lamenting here in the Atlanta area. Is I was having a hard time finding a group to game with. Before my kids, I used to host game night at my place, and especially after the second one, that fell apart.
The struggle is real, brother. The struggle is real.
Yeah. So what happened was I actually rediscovered a group that I went to way back when I was in my bachelor days. There's a group that meets in my county every Saturday, and they have a meetup. And I think I lost track of them because the places they used to go to closed down for different reasons. And I found them again. And it was great. I got to play some Cyril.
I saw the pictures of that.
Yeah, played Cyril. I played Camel up for the first time, and thought I was doing really well, but I wasn't. That's always the best when you think you're doing awesome.
Oh, and then it turns out you're like in last place.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
you bring up a great point though, Ron. I mean, I've in Tampa, I've been to different game stores. I've been to meetup groups and different things like that. And if you show up and it's a group that's already they've been
Established.
You walk in and
yeah,
there's no table for you, or you can sit there and try to get in games. And I've got up and left after like a half hour, 45 minutes several times at various things. And I think that's a telltale sign. If you walk in and you're a new person and there's not someone greeting you or asking you to play a game within 20 minutes, then that's just not a group that's welcoming,
Right, but fortunately for me, there was a guy that welcomed me, and I didn't have to wait very long to get into a game. But most of the people they were deep in their games and whatnot. A lot of Euros on the table. But yeah, so it was great. So that was my main thing I just wanted to say. I think I found a group here.
Congrats, man.
We discovered a group. I'm pretty excited about that. But we'll see how long we stay in Atlanta. Because I'm still looking for stuff down there in Central Florida. So because we're pretty serious about this. My family, we're pretty serious about moving for a number of reasons.
A lot of good things in Florida. It's I am a lover of Tampa. I really am. It's not as big as like Orlando or other cities, but there's just enough to do here, and the board game community is, I think, fairly strong.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
Yeah.
I would think Florida in general is great. I don't ever want to leave the area. But I think down here you'll find, if you do make it up down here, even in Orlando, there's a lot of good game groups that I have friends that live in Orlando, even in Miami area that they're much more welcoming. I think I went to the first Your Turn gaming Saturday like a month or two ago.
Your first?
My first, yeah, the first one I've been able to make too with work and travel or whatever. But I think and I was there most of the day, and I think almost every single person that was there asked me at one point in time if I was getting up to get a drink or go. They'd be like, "Hey, you in a game? Do you want a game?" And I was like blown away by how many of the people at the thing were just, "Hey, we're playing this game. Does anyone want to play?" I think that's great. I'm looking forward. I'm making it out this Saturday for a little bit at least. So just because it was such a good
And the
experience.
ice cream doesn't hurt either. The fact that they sell ice cream,
yeah, exactly.
that doesn't hurt either.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, so if there's a lesson in any of this for folks that go to these types of events, and keep your eyes out for new folks, because you can make or break their experience.
Well, like Rob and I always do, you talked about the welcoming piece. One of the things that Rob and I did early was we grabbed some uniforms, right? We did the baseball uniform thing. I'm not wearing them. I brushed in here as fast as I could. But when we do game day, we wear them. So it's easy to tell who's beans and dice at the event. And I put a sign up on the table, a illuminated sign with the beans and dice logo on it. And I really work hard to see people. And what's weird is I see people, kind of like Wayne said, kind of walk in alone, right? And then I will leave whatever I'm doing to go ask, "Hey, did you come in for the beans and dice group?" Right? And get them into a game. Like I focus on that. To the point where it gets weird, because there'll be people that I'll see just kind of doing stuff on their own. Like I think Chris is a member of our group now, but he didn't come because of Beans and Dice. He just came in because he wanted to check out a game that was in the library, read the rules. And I walked over and said, "Hey, I know how to play that. Do you want me to teach you?" So we ended up getting him into a game of Tyrants of Underdark. And then we're like, "All right, so how'd you find out about Beans and Dice?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. "I just came here to learn how to play Tyrants of the Underdark." Like, "Oh, okay, well, we're Beans and Dice." So to that point where I'm just like asking random people, "Do you want to be my friend?" Yeah. So it gets weird, but
you got to do it though. I mean, that's if you want a game, you got to meet and make new gaming friends, right? So not everyone's gonna make it every time. So
and it is to my detriment, because I don't get in a lot of games that I want to play on game day, but I'm focused on making sure everyone's got a game to get into.
I think I brought a box of like 10 games. Played one of them.
Yeah, that's the challenge of like playing host. I know that on a smaller scale, hosting at my place. At the height, I'd have close to a dozen people in here playing, and my main thing was just making sure people were playing games, having a good time. Sometimes answering rules questions, because I had a good mix of people that were new to the hobby and some old veterans, and so it was really cool, but sometimes you just don't get the games that you want to, but that's okay.
Well, we appreciate your call, and we look forward to seeing you. We're less than a month out. Super excited.
Yes, sir.
Super excited. We'll see you then, okay?
You too.
Have a good night.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yep.
That was Ron Frazier from Hot Atlanta. Phone lines open again, 813-618-7099. Mitchell says, I'm sorry, BJ says, Carlos, that's the key. Someone has to be the greeter and get new people into welcoming games. Taking turns each week or during the night is one way. He's right, because this week I have planned some wargaming for this Saturday's game day. And when I do wargaming, I let Rob know, hey, I'm going to go over there and play this 2-player game. The floor is yours.
I need to focus on the
game.
Right,
so he can keep an eye out for people that need to get into a game.
Yep.
And then as games start to dwindle down and end, either Robert and I will take the lead on coordinating the next game. Like, all right, we got a game of this going on. Someone's going to teach it who wants in. Right? And kind of just
get it.
Because most people will just start to disperse and quietly go into their corners after a game, and we want to draw them back in. It is a lot of work.
But it's important work.
We'll come back to the chats here.
Yeah,
I like Tom's comment on the hats. We asked about it. Tom Vasel says the viticulture hats are backwards. The hats should make you better, not worse.
Mitchell agrees, and I might agree as well. You'd think that, if you have a better worker, you want to protect him from the sun, you'd give him a hat, right? Not to go, you're a good worker, give me that hat. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see we touched on it briefly, is they look like they were falling over a lot, like those hats are making them top heavy. So I wonder if
fiddly was the word I would use.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be something like where you have to put a little extra base on the workers so they stand up better.
I immediately thought of the hats from Flick 'em Up. I don't know if you ever played Flick 'em Up, the Cowboy Edition. They got little hats on their meeples, and they're always falling off. It's always fiddly. You turn them up around to kind of indicate who's activated and stuff like that. It just makes things worse.
But I wonder if you take a little clear acrylic piece and attach the meeple to it, that'll give it a base so they don't fall over. But then I
wonder who could cut out a clear acrylic piece. I think we got a guy. Phone lines open, 813-618-7099. Let's see if any more comments in there. We had a bunch in there, like a long thread in there about how someone said clunk our heads together.
Yeah.
Because we just couldn't get it, that it was Tom Vasel.
Oblivious.
So we'll leave that topic alone. That was fun. And let's talk, let's see what else we got here. So I guess the mail call. Let's go mail call.
There you go, mail call.
It is June 6th, D-Day anniversary. I think it's like the 80-something.
44 or 40, yeah.
Is it 60-something? 80-something, right? Wow. I can't believe how long ago that was, but these finally came in stock again. These are epic maps from Days of Wonder for Memoir 44. So it's like a full paper fold-out mat that gives you almost like 3 boards put together worth of space to be able to play 4 versus 4, Memoir 44, without having to lay out terrain and pieces.
So it's all the beaches. It's Juneau, Sword.
This is not the D-Day one, but this is Hedgerow Hell.
Okay.
And it's within Normandy, but you can see it has all the terrain already printed on the maps, so I don't have to go find all the terrain pieces. It has indicators of starting units, like who starts where. It'll show you, as well as have all of the special rules for the scenario, as well as all the infantry or tank or all the different cards of units and their special rules all built in. So just super simplifies setup, makes everything real easy. So that is the Hedgerow Hell. Super excited about this one. In August of this year, we're going to have a Memoir 44 tournament at Your Turn, and we've got scheduled to join us Mr. Richard Borg himself, the designer of Memoir 44. So this is something that I'm excited about, is getting some more Memoir 44 played in.
You got to teach me that.
Super light, man.
Sure,
you and your boy would love it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is in the hall. The mail call until somebody calls in.
Yeah.
We've got the CDG solo system from GMT Games. So GMT Game makes all kinds of card-driven games, CDGs as they call them. And in the CDG system here, this is a solo AI that runs the other player for you and includes dice for some of them, but it has what they call like programs almost, where each game has its own sheet on how to use it for that game.
Nice.
But you can also make your own. So this could be used for Memoir 44. this could be used for just about any card-driven war game. So William and I were both on the P500 for this, and it just arrived today. Super excited. Getty says it's really good on BGA too. It's got Overlord on BGA?
Ooh.
Okay, Wayne, that's how we're going to learn. We're going to learn on BGA.
There you go. Yeah.
BGA, Overlord. Getty, if you're still there, does it do Overlord 4v4? If not, I'll check that out later and see what it says.
Yep.
So that's Carlos and his wargaming stuff that Rob isn't super interested in.
Yeah, I did open it up, and there's a comment there about that. There's a lot of scenarios, and it was. I mean, I looked at setting up a game to see if there was a solo option. There wasn't. Obviously, it's got to be a 2-player, but the drop down menu had 20 or 25 scenarios, so that's pretty cool.
All right, this is a trap. This was last week on the show when Nick Oben called in and talked about Sovereign Skies.
The expansion?
No, he did not say anything about an expansion. But when I went to the BGG and pulled up Sovereign Skies, Getty says, pretty sure it does, 4v4 for a memoir. When I pulled up Sovereign Skies, they had one in the marketplace for $15. So I immediately started clicking that I'm buying, and then I realized I was still live on stream, so I quickly changed the screen, but I ended up buying it for $15. And after I made the purchase is when I realized, and it said, my fault, asterisk, 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 note, asterisk, 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 this is just the expansion. And I'm like, crap. So I just bought an expansion to a game I don't have.
So
I immediately scrolled down on the BGG and had to order the actual game itself so that I now have the full game and the expansion, and they came in today. Sovereign Skies is a rondel game, as Nick Oben talked about it.
So really what it is, you just needed to one-up Nick, because he had the game, so you had to get the expansion and the game.
For the library. It's for the people.
Yeah.
This is for game day, because people reach out and say, hey, Carlos, can you bring X, Y, and Z to game day? If it's in my library, I'm bringing it. I'm letting you play with it. It's for the community.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell my wife.
She's not listening.
No, she's not. She doesn't watch this. But it's a rondel space game, which is pretty cool because you're doing kind of like Tiny Epic Galaxies. Mm-hmm. You're going from planet to planet, using its resources or colonizing to the planet, but you're doing it like on a rondel as you're flying around the map. You're going from galaxy to galaxy or planet to planet to trigger all those events. So, and it says deep strategy in just 45 minutes. And that was the part where Nick kind of confirmed that that's accurate, that 45-minute aspect. With quick turns, and those are the kinds of games that I'm really into today. Is just games under like an hour. You got anything you bought, or am I the only one?
No, man, you're right. You're keeping up. I said it. I think I said at the beginning of the show. I think I thought really hard, and I bought Dune and Chocolate Factory. The only 2 games I bought this year. I got Viticulture coming, the Viticulture World with the wine box. I'll be getting the Wingspan big box. And then probably the only other game right now is the Castles of Burgundy. I'm going to back that in the next few days. But other than that, I haven't done any Kickstarters. I haven't gone any gaming. So
looks like the Overlord didn't make it to the beta.
Okay.
It was there in the alpha.
Maybe they'll come back as they work on it.
I just had an itch I had to scratch. I own War Chest. I own the first expansion of War Chest, and this is the 2021 expansion called Siege, where it adds 4 new units, and it adds a mechanism for War Chest fortresses, which give more strength for holding ground.
Didn't you say that you weren't into the expansion thing, that you just want?
Most games, I'm not into the expansion thing, but man, these poker chips are awesome, and they're gorgeous.
Okay,
and they're simple. These expansions are very simple. So simple expansions to me really stand out. But buying this has gotten me to get War Chest back to the table more. So I've been playing with my son, teaching him how to play, really enjoying. Because I keep thinking about, again, back to the 45 minutes or less type gaming that I want to do. What war games do I want to play with my family or kids? But they're so hard to set up, so hard to teach, so long to play, that War Chest kind of fits that bill. It gives me that ability to play combat-y games in less than 45 minutes. Man, Carlos has been spending bank on games of, yes, I'm trying not to, but I'm epically failing.
Mr. G's putting it, I didn't buy Rolling Realms. I bought the expansions of Rolling Realms, the 3 $5 packs that they added to the game. So I guess, I can add those too, but as far as game purchases. I don't know. Those were only like a little deck of cards.
I didn't get. See, I ordered all that, but it's all going to Wayne's library.
Yes.
Because I'm not a
too.
co-op guy. Like I'm just not a super co-op fan.
But I'll own it, and we can play it.
And we will get it played on the library in the show. We'll. I wanted, man. I had so much fun last week with Robert. I did not expect to have fun like that.
Yeah.
Robert and I have done a lot of playthrough videos ourselves, and mostly it feels like we're going through playing the game, literally playing the game, and then I'm spending hours editing to try to get all the boring stuff out.
Yeah. Nah, just play.
But last Sunday, Robert and I were just like, you know what? We were gonna play Ark Nova. I said, why don't we just try this Twitch streaming thing? And we streamed it, and people were popping in saying hi randomly throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. I think it worked well. If you know the game, you're just going to play it, and you really are good at it. And you even yelled at Mitchell about, like, talk through your turns. You can't just, if it's a game you're thinking about, and as down as a lot of us have been, and I haven't played Ark Nova yet, my biggest complaint is how long it'll take. From watching you guys play it, it looks interesting. It looks pretty cool. The idea of making your zoo and doing little polyominoes. So the game looks cool if we could figure out, like, you guys played 2-player and it was still 2 hours. Right?
220 something
Right.
without setup
Right.
and without teardown. I
Like,
mean, it was over 30 minutes of setup and over 30 minutes of just teardown.
Right. That's just too, like you said, too much. If there's a way to play it faster, sign me up. Right, but if it's a 3-hour game, I'd rather play 3 1-hour games in that same time period.
I can't say that because there are many other 3-hour games that I would also love to play.
Right, but take all those 3-hour games, and would you play Ark Nova over any of those?
No.
Right, so that's
Brass, Terraforming Mars.
Right.
Even Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl's a 3-hour game for just 2 players. I'll play that over.
Yeah, not speaking for Rob, who's not here, but even he's warming to Ark Nova, but he'd still be. He'd guarantee you he'd still probably check Brass or Terraforming Mars or Scythe.
I think we're talking about getting the game of Brass going this weekend at Saturday's game day. Nick Oben finally learned how to play, and he's had a copy. Brass Birmingham. I've never played Brass
Lancashire.
Well, or the original Brass. I think wasn't there like original Brass?
But original Brass was rebranded as Brass Lancashire.
So that's the same version.
Yeah, and it's Birmingham has the beer and has a little bit. To me, it's a little. I think the original is tighter. It's a little bit more unforgiving, and so it can be brutal. Brass Birmingham is still brutal and tight, but it's has a little bit more play in it. So I like them both. I have them both.
And finally, the last item that came in. This here is, if I remember correctly, Ron Rich is the name. Let me double check that here. It should be on the board somewhere. Designer Ron Rich. Yes. This is New York Pizza Delivery. This game here was something that Ron Rich sent us a prototype copy of September of last year. We took it with us to Dice Tower Retreat. We played it out there. We got people's feedback. We provided Ron with some feedback. We played with Ron on TTS, Tabletop Simulator. He taught us how to play on there. We shared it at Dice Tower Retreat, provided him feedback. And his Kickstarter did fun, and his Kickstarter delivered. So it's like less than a year, and his Kickstarter delivered. And I didn't even expect it, but he mailed us a copy.
That's awesome.
He said, hey, here, have a copy. Thanks for your help. And I want to give him a shout out. Heirloom Games is AIR Loom Games.
And that's pretty, like, to have a Kickstarter launch, fund, and deliver within a year during the pandemic with everything going on. That's some pretty efficient, work there.
Yep. And if you ever played, I guess the way I would say it is if you've ever played Ethnos, I really do feel like this has a lot of inspiration from Ethnos. There's area control card set collection. You're delivering pizzas to different boroughs of New York, and you're taking control of different shops in New York in order to deliver to different zones. This is New York Pizza Delivery. Ron Rich sent this to us. So that was the entirety of my mail call. That's everything that came in this week.
That's pretty good. It's a nice little haul. Although you haven't had too,
I got to get to gaming, though. That's like, okay, so this baby. So in July of last year, we had our daughter. It's baby number 4. And then we got 3 boys before her, but the boys are all older now. So it's been over 10 years since I had kids. This baby has been so exhausting. Like, I really feel like, wow, I did not expect it to impact my gaming as hard as it did. And it really did.
It really has, yeah.
Let's see here. Rich says, poking around on the BGA forums.
One less.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
It's Lorenzo from Seattle.
Hey, Beans and Dice West. How are you?
doing all right, man.
What's going on?
I just walked in the door, saw you guys were on, and then you were talking about mail call.
Gunny, mail call.
So I figured I'd call in and share what I got.
Did you stalk any more neighbors?
Yes. I was gonna say, did you post it?
No, I have not stalked the neighbor yet. It's like this mystery person because, like I said, that person gets something in the mail like almost every day, like a package. And I try to listen for the door downstairs when I'm working from home. And I swear to God, the package will be there, and then I'll go and just kind of like peek over the corner, and the package is gone. Like, where did this person go? Where'd they come from? And
so gnomes.
So, haven't seen the person yet.
Not only are they getting packages, but they're stealthy. You
they're
gotta put a little bell.
extremely
You gotta put a
stealthy.
little bell on the door, then, right? So this when it comes.
Oh, see, now you're talking. I'm going to put tripwire down there.
There you go.
No. Florida man arrested in Seattle.
Yeah, and then I'll like jump over the edge and be like, "Gotcha!" You know,
What game are you playing today?
Yeah, that'll go over really well. Yeah.
Talk to me. What games came in? I'm writing them down.
So I got
Where we start?
Let's start with I think it's all expansions actually. I got the Clank and Space Pulse Arcade expansion, which is the latest one. I think it's the third expansion for that now. Which is supposed to be like one of the better ones, or if not the best one. Haven't had a chance to play that with the expansion yet, but I did introduce my friends here to Clank and Space, and they definitely liked that one. They said they would want to play that one again. And then I got in, I think all the rest is Marvel. Oh no, I had got the Azul Summer Pavilion expansion, which is pretty cool because that adds like the plastic overlay for your board, so it like holds all the pieces, all the tiles in place like it should. And then it adds like a couple of different scoring boards.
Are you
like
really having
score
trouble
differently.
with your Azul tiles?
I didn't get it for that, but I mean, it does, you know me, man, I'm OCD. I like stuff like that. You know, when you got that perfect looking board, you know, it's like, oh man, that's so satisfying to see that.
Yeah,
So,
you know a guy
yeah.
that can make acrylic overlays now, probably, right? I think you might know somebody.
Is there a guy?
There's a guy.
Yeah, I got to make some calls about that guy, actually.
Yeah, don't pop out of my bushes while I'm getting my mail.
Yeah.
So I got that in, and then I got the rest. I think is Marvel Champion stuff. So I got the larger expansion. I think it's the Thanos one. I can't remember the name of it. And then I've got the new Spider-Man one, which comes with Miles Morales and Ghost Spider, which is pretty cool for the heroes.
Looks like BJ from Board Game Gumbo agrees with you. I love overlays. I'm a clumsy gamer.
Yeah, man.
So you have some love in there.
I mean, how many times have, if you don't have it, you know, the Terraforming Mars boards. I mean, if you don't have the overlays for that, one bump of the table and you're
I still don't know how
all
that
over the
passed, like, testing.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
We are
I
talking.
think it was a money thing. Obviously.
Yeah, we're talking Stronghold Games. That it's not like they're known for high production
Right.
value. No
Exactly.
offense to Stronghold Games because they make some great games, but they brought a lot of games over, but they weren't known for production value of their games.
You mean if they're not going to
True.
complain about ugly clip art, they're not going to complain about this cardboard player mat?
I mean, this is
Yeah.
also the same company that literally went out like when they did the big box for Terraforming Mars. Every single cube was in its own bag. I mean, it was like, yeah.
Let's not even go down that road, please.
How long did it take you to get them all out?
Yeah, I didn't get that, thank God.
Oh, okay.
But that's a little bit too much for me. I like Terraforming Mars, but I'm not like Rob with Terraforming Mars because I know that's like his top 3 or 5 top games. So, but anyway, Sinister Motives. Marvel Champions, and then the Mad Titan Showdown Marvel Champions, and then I got a couple of heroes. So that was my mail call lately. But I'll tell you the one thing. Can we talk about like the one thing that I'm really excited about getting?
That's what the show's all about, is what real gamers think about games. Like, I want to talk to real gamers, not just content creators.
Yeah.
And, we love.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we do the call-in show. We can get all kinds of people, content creators, real gamers. I love it because I can hear from all kinds of people.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if you're just tuning in at the beginning of the hour. We got a phone call from Tom from Florida. So it took
it took 15 minutes for us to realize it was Tom Vasel from Miami, Florida.
Tom Vasel?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's awesome, man.
It was weird because I had no idea who it was. We were just talking games, and then I turned to the chat, and there was like 20 chats in there. Don't you understand who that is? And then I looked at my cell phone, and I'm getting texts on my personal from Mitchell. Do you not get that that's Vasel? Because we were just talking about dungeon crawls.
Oh, that is awesome.
So we
I
got
wish I
phone
could have
calls
seen
from
that
content
live,
creators and like regular gamers. That's what I love about the show.
Captain Obvious and Admiral Oblivious over here.
There you go. There you go, right there, man. That one mention from Jamie, and you're all set, man.
I got to pay that guy.
So what game are you most excited about? Circle it back there.
Oathsworn is shipped.
Oh, there you go.
Oathsworn. Isn't that the root people?
Come on. No.
Or is that
Look
just-
it up. Pull it up on the screen there.
I'm
and
doing
you'll
the
see.
thing.
One word.
But this company, they had issues with their shipping. Like they kind of reached out to the backers, and because I mean this is a big game, they added a lot to it, and I think their shipping bill, like they always like estimate whatever the shipping cost is going to be, and because of everything that's been going on, they were, I think, just under or just over $200,000 short on shipping alone. And they were like, we hate to do this, but we got to ask you guys for help. And if you could just donate $25 to help offset the cost. And I think they were putting up half of that money. So they were only asking, hopefully getting 100,000. And I think they got so many positive responses and people like throwing in extra money and everything that they didn't even have to put their half in to pay for the rest of the shipping. So it was pretty cool that the people kind of got together and helped them out like that. I was one of those people. I think I threw in 35 instead of 25, but
Well, I think
this game looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's this is looks like a big production value game. So people probably like, all right, yeah, I've already invested X amount in the game, so what's another $25 or $35? But I like
right.
We've seen a lot of companies have issues. I mean, like Gray Fox had issues bringing in a few of their games, and their solution was to sell a promo set of dice for Champions of Midgard.
Yeah,
and to raise the money, and that's it's interesting that that the shipping prices have gotten so insane that it's $200,000 is a lot of money for shipping, and that's, you said, above what they were already expecting to pay. So that was
right.
That's pretty hefty.
Well, you figure if the shipping containers were before pre-pandemic, they were going for $2,000 to $3,000 a shipping container, and it's gone up to, some people are saying like $20,000 to $30,000 per container.
That's crazy.
So, like, literally.
And
so,
I've
I mean, you figure if you had 10 containers, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I know some people were saying that their containers were 30, 40, 50,000 sometimes, especially around
Right.
Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
And if you're not filling the container, are you really even going to get any shipper to talk to you?
And I forget where I saw
exactly.
Somebody had an article and they were talking about how it's compounded. The containers, instead of being $3,000, is $30,000 to get it to Long Beach, California from China. But then the problem is you have to then unpack the container. It used to be they would take the container off the ship, put it on a truck, and drive it to your fulfillment centers in the Midwest. But now that they're not letting the containers leave the port because they're so valuable, they need to put them immediately back on a ship to get them back to China. So, like one of the game people were saying, they had to hire a second truck hire people to unload the container into a second truck, which was another $5 or $10 to then ship it to the.
Jeez.
So it's like a compounding issue. I don't know if that's still the case, but
Unreal.
there's a website where you can go look at all the ships on the ocean. I think Kickstarter people know it. If you zoom in on Long Beach, California, it's still even today.
You can see them all off the shore.
Yeah, there's like 50 ships offshore like every day.
What excites you about Oathsworn? Because I don't know, these adventure campaign games feel like they're becoming a dime a dozen. What about this game has got you excited?
Just the whole, the story behind it. They have, like, I can see you kind of get pulled up, and I might be a little bit behind what you're doing, but it's like a whole nother box of tuck boxes of monsters that you don't even know what you're going to come across until you open up the box. So the story, the way that the exploration of it, the fighting that you do, you can either choose to use dice or you can choose to use a deck of cards like for your character, and you can go back and forth however you want. If you're feeling more like chucking dice, you can chuck dice. If not, you can use the card system, which I think is more of like a Gloomhaven type system. I love games that have a huge storyline behind them.
It looks like it's a little app based too, huh?
A little bit, which I don't mind. I think that's. I'm not one of those people that is this app going to be around in 10 years? Well,
yeah, I'm a huge fan. My wife and I in our game group, we love Mansions Madness, and that app was phenomenal. Love playing.
Oh yeah,
it adds.
I think that almost saved that game. If there was no app for that game, I can't imagine playing it without the app.
Oh God, no. Yeah, I can't either. I never played the first edition, but definitely, it's great.
Yeah, it's a good game. So anyway, I'm going to have to go back to the beginning of the show. I mean, I was going to anyway, but I'm sure I'll have a good chuckle about Tom calling in and you guys not even knowing.
Just oblivious.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the live comments as it's playing and just kind of laugh at myself.
We'll see the revelation in our eyes as we realize it was Tom going, oh.
No, I didn't realize anything. I went to the comments and it was there 100 times. Do you not get it? That's Vasel.
Yeah, that's funny. It is what it is.
That's awesome. It's awesome.
That's always good catching up.
All right, guys. Yeah, man, I'm glad I was able to get a call in before you closed up shop here. So enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you for taking my call, and we will talk again.
I'll see you around. See you on the lines.
All right, man. See ya.
Good night.
See ya.
That's Michael Lorenzo from Beans and Dice West, as I like to call it, because Mike was one of the founding members of Beans and Dice here in Tampa and moved himself to Seattle. So I'm glad he's able to make it to the show. That gets us to past 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah.
Like we always want to do. We could, it flies a lot faster.
Lots of calls.
It does.
Nick couldn't even get his call in.
No, poor Nick. Tried to get that last-minute phone call talking about Brass Birmingham. But a lot of conversation in the chat. We really appreciate you, all of you that contributed in the chat. Thank you, Edmund, catching in from
I think we're
Sweden last minute.
We're going to be jumping on Discord after this, and I'm going to show Carlos a little, teach Carlos some Castles of Burgundy.
Which we're going to stream live. So if you're not, if you're bored and you got nothing better to do, we're just going to start up another stream after this and go live into just playing some BGA.
Watch me horribly teach you Castles of Burgundy.
That's our motto, right?
Yeah.
How we game.
Yeah, exactly. Figure it out. And so feel free to join us and chat it with us directly in Discord. So
thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Check out the... That's right. We're going to do a Castles of Burgundy tournament.
We got thrown off. We were going to mention that earlier in the day. But yeah, on BGA, Getty Rich is going to help us do a Castles of Burgundy tournament. I think we got like 9 or 10 people interested. So if we were going to
catch us on our Discord. You can find the link from Facebook or just message us in the... in the thing,
and we'll get it in the video.
I got to figure out how to get that. Like I'm not a.
Everyone was running late.
He's
tonight.
my tech guy, and he wasn't here last week. So
yeah, and graduation time in Florida, so we literally, Carlos was running in the door at 2 minutes to 9.
It
so-
was. It was
2 minutes to
amazing.
9, so.
And I had everything off, so I'm
Yeah.
like smashing buttons, turning lights on, and just praying it all worked, and it did.
Yep.
So, all right, y'all, have a good night. For those of you that want to watch some BGA being played, just stay in the video in the YouTube. You'll see another link pop up, or in the Twitch. We will catch you on the next one. I'm Carlos.
I'm Wayne.
Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about.
How we game.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.